Welcome everybody to Sports Bitches, the best podcast there ever was. My name is Rachel Benetta, joined by two of my best buds, Sarah Tiana, Megan Gailey. Wow. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome everybody, including our favorite person, Pancake Boy, who is constantly in the Discord chat giving us ideas for this podcast, and we appreciate you, Pancake Sir.
Pancake Man.
Pancake Man. How are you guys doing? Big week for Sarah. Sarah wrote on the BET Awards last night, right? Was that last night or the night
think
before?
they're still going on.
But wow, what a room of wonderful people that you were in. Who is the coolest person that you saw?
Well, Kendrick Lamar was for sure the best part.
Sick.
I mean, cutie. And he's honestly, 5'7".
I don't know.
I want to say
he is
large
smaller in presence.
Oh. So he has, yes. Okay. No, I love it.
Is so I can't even. There were just it was the 25th anniversary of the awards, and it was the 45th anniversary of the network. So it was just like everyone was there. They did a 106 in Park reunion, and B2K danced, and like Amari and Maya, and like it was just like wild. And Bow Wow closed it out. Who still looks exactly the same.
And is he like 35?
40. He's 40? Yeah, he's like 35 or 40. I don't know how old he is.
But
guys, remember the movie Like Mike? Remember the movie Like Mike?
Oh, yeah.
I need to run that back. I haven't watched that in a long time.
A lot of great, Doechii had a speech that's obviously like really resonated. SZA had 2 Mexican flags. You know, it was in Los Angeles.
By the way, after Doechii gave her speech, SWAT showed up in the back of the house. And none of us could go in. I was like trapped. I was like running to prompt her to do something for Tisha and Tashina. And then I couldn't get back in because all these police came in. We couldn't figure out what was happening. We still don't know what happened. SZA was winning an award, but she couldn't even get in because she had just shown up. So that's
nothing better to do. But nothing better to do.
Yeah. It was just, I still don't know what happened. I was like, woo!
What the hell?
Doechii had a great speech, and people were very vocal about their thoughts, but also their love and admiration for each other. And like Jamie Foxx got an Icon Award, and I mean, so many people performed in his tribute, and he was just bawling, crying, and his daughters were there with him, and they were bawling, and like. Everyone, there was not a dry eye in the house. It was fantastic. About halfway through the show, we were already an hour over.
Oh my God.
It was fantastic.
Jamie Foxx did like a first look on his daughter's wedding day. You know, like usually it's like bride and groom. Yeah.
But it was like he wanted people to see him.
It's more it was like there's more of like a trend now of like dads seeing daughters. My dad didn't. Mm-hmm. That's a podcast for another time. That's a docu-series.
That's a left turn.
But he was like so moved by seeing his daughter as a bride. Yeah. And I also was just like, wow. I mean, it's like hearing Bow Wow's 40. It's just like, wait, Jamie Foxx has a daughter who's getting married? Like it just ages me somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sarah, was it okay? Because obviously you were working downtown LA, which was a pretty tumultuous place to be this past weekend. What was the vibe like literally from the front lines?
Yeah, well, I guess like after I left on Sunday night, the day before the award, that was when everything kind of went down, was during Sunday. And then, but it was down near Union Station, and which is, probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles from where we were. So, like the news makes it seem like this is just like chaos and the whole city's burning, but it was, 3 cars and people were on the freeway.
I keep seeing people have like a nice time, like dancing. I keep seeing like mascots, like.
So like there were definitely some bad eggs in there that were setting the Waymos on fire. And by the way, we had a whole Waymo inclusion thing in our show, and so we ended up having to say like, pray for the Waymos, y'all.
I am pro Waymo violence. Yes, I am.
No, why?
Yes, I am.
My heart is breaking watching these little robotic guys.
I don't know what it is.
Set ablaze.
So like the robot food delivery people. No, I guess they're not people. They're robots. The robot food delivery machines.
Freudian slip.
The robot food delivery machines. I love. I feel connected to them. They like stop for me to be able to cross the street. They are gentlemen and gentle ladies. The Waymos, even if nothing was going on, I'm like, burn them.
No.
Have you never seen Cars? They have a soul.
Of
they
course.
want to play you music.
Yeah. I love Cars.
Okay, let me ask you. Have you ever been inside of a Waymo?
It doesn't appeal to me. There's like
interesting. Now it starts coming out.
Some people like what I don't like. I remember when I think it was like one of the New York airports went to all tablets, and so like you had to order wine off a tablet instead of from like a TGI Fridays to go bartender. And I'm like, no, we've failed as a society. Like I do still like a human, even if it's like a weirdo who's like ranting crazy shit at me, I go, okay, I'm having an experience. Like I don't want to be in a robot car. It freaks me out. I don't like it.
I hear what you're saying. This is a bigger discussion. You're very anti-AI is what.
But I love those little food guys.
But she's very
they
pro
let you cross
food.
the street.
Well, and they're bringing food. So it's like, yes, we need as many hands on deck bringing food.
Listen,
I'm saying, if a Waymo brought you food, you would be okay with it.
Yeah, maybe.
She's thinking about it.
Yeah, because then I'm like, oh, the Waymo wouldn't like eat my fries, you know?
Right.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But until then, burn them to the ground.
No, okay. Well, when you're back in LA, we gotta take you for a little ride. It feels very safe, very lovely. You're not having some guy ask, what kind of perfume are you wearing? It's lovely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say pro Waymo. I'm fine with it. I don't like talking to people in the car, and like they drive safer than any other the most of the Ubers that I've been in. But yeah, so anyway, you know, that kind of sucked, and there was like just tons of police everywhere, you know, which sucks vibe. Because then they're not out, you know. Where no, they were everywhere. Like they were like all the freeways were blocked off. And so basically right after I left on Sunday, I think a crowd marched past crypto, but they were just marching.
They just want the Lakers to get a center.
Yeah.
They're like, this is separate.
Anyway.
We're here for Jeannie Buss. Okay. We're here for Rob Pelinka. Also abolish ICE, but we need a big man.
Yeah. I kind of wish I had been able to go to the LAFC game, you know, since they were quiet that game in protest, which I thought was lovely. So,
okay, well, on to better news. Meg, you're literally about to pop. You're complaining about pain in your vagina as we pressed record. What is the size of the baby? What was it last time?
Last time was a baseball base.
Okay.
You ask that every time.
I know, but it's a refresher.
And so, yeah.
It's a refresher for our listeners for Pancake Boy. Okay.
Listen, I don't know it either.
I would say this one is classic Indiana.
Corn husk.
No, it's a
shotgun.
No, it's
shotgun
items.
Cornhole board.
No.
Cornhole board.
Cornhole shotgun.
Board. Is that why there's a hole in the cornhole board, but it was made by a shotgun? Classic Indiana.
And we're in the thick
choker.
of it right now. No, not a choker. We're in the thick of it right now. We're in the thick of
basketball.
What are we? Okay,
basketball.
so we're
a
we're
Larry
in the right
O'Brien
sport.
trophy.
I wish.
Oh,
I wish that popped out of me.
A net or the
basketball
hoop.
net. The basketball net.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking write that down so I don't ask next week.
You don't have to.
No,
Okay.
I like that you asked. No one else knows.
It's a good refresher. Okay, I do have a baby related question. So you guys know this baby's name. It is a family name. Conrad's name is a family name. Conrad's middle name is Jalen for Jalen Rose. And then this baby's middle name was going to be Jeffrey, which is my dad's first name. But now, like when the Pacers were like maybe gonna beat the who was it? The Cavs. I go, if they go to the finals, I think I gotta change the baby's middle name. And so now we're in the finals. My dad pretends that he didn't even know it was going to be Jeffrey, so he doesn't even seem that attached to it. So it's like, I was like, yeah, we've told you this multiple times. You go, I didn't know that. And I go, well, I mean, it might be gone now. And so now I'm like, do we change it to Hallie, Halliburton, Pascal? You know, so many. Bert. I'm like, can
Mac, right? Mac.
MAC. Can I throw my dad?
Do you want us to put that on the podcast? Oh, okay.
I genuinely don't care. Can I throw my own father's name out of it for the sake of honoring this finals run?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could also have a second. You could have, like, on the birth certificate, you can have a second.
Yes, I can, but the last name's already hyphenated, and you guys, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Everyone hates me. Like, when you say that your child's last name, when you're like, oh, no, it's actually Gailey Toledano, they look at you like your eyeballs are melting out of your face. They're so disgusted. And it's like, I know there was no other option. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There was no other option. Obi Toppin.
I literally, I'm so LA. I went to go and look at the roster, but instead I typed Pacers cast.
Oh my God. Yeah, the other night
Mac, Obi,
Miles.
and then it could be like Maccabee. It's almost like Maccabee.
The other
Mac
night
Miles is an actor. Mac Miles.
I'd say Miles Turner is like my sixth favorite player, though. Like it feels like it's a Halliburton. The other night we're watching the finals, and then the Tonys are on, and my mom goes, "Why would they put the Tonys on the same night as the NBA finals?" I go, "Because it's only you and I that care.
Different audiences."
Peg, there's no other crossover of O'Mary fans and OKC Thunder fans.
Can I say that I definitely like it? Since his initials have an M and then a G and then a T, if you have a vowel in there.
A vowel. Okay.
Like if it's, Mo GT, M-O-G-T, Mo GT. You know what I mean? Like people get nicknames based on their initials. So that I think a vowel is a really
okay. So you guys have collectively been like, "Fuck your dad."
Bye, Jeff. Bye.
Yeah, bye, Dad.
Bye. Yes. Thanks for everything.
No,
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay,
Until your band becomes a platinum selling, we're not.
Okay, great.
Yeah, until you start standing up and representing your band instead of sitting down.
Until you give us the green couch.
Shut up. You could also do historic Pacers that you love, like Mac Reggie. I don't know if that sounds very
well. We talked about Reggie for a first name. I think since we're changing it, I really want it to be like this team. I do think Reggie. I do think my angel Reggie is like. Why didn't they give the first one? I do think he's thought about it actually since we got engaged in front of his mural. I do think he touches in on what we're doing, and I think Jalen was like, "Wow, okay."
Did you invite Reggie Miller to your wedding?
No, we should have, but then I was like, well, I can't have Reggie Miller there because then I'm going to want to make out with Reggie Miller, and it's, I'm betrothed.
Okay, that does leave me to... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, when people invite Michael Jordan, he, sends his regrets, but he sends it with,
a present.
A gift.
That's a thing that people do. That's like a grift people do, is they send
you can invite
their
the president.
Wedding invites and then they get something in return. Let me just say this really, really quick because it was the talk of the town on TikTok this weekend. Yeah. Taylor and Travis, there was a big rumor that they were married. Skip the engagement straight to married because Cole Kmet sent out a wedding invite, and on the invite it said Taylor and Travis Kelce. So that
what?
the wedding planner took a photo of that and sent it out there. I had been so fucking pissed.
Fired.
And immediately, and that went viral. It wasn't Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It was Taylor and Travis Kelce. Now, we did this for a couple of unmarried people at our wedding, but they are engaged. We would never just be like, oh, this person and that person last name. So,
But what if they're not changing their last name? Even your friends. They're not annoying like me.
well, yes.
Wait, I'm so confused. I'm confused. I don't understand what's happening. So,
Okay.
Cole Kmet and his wife
Kmet.
got married this last weekend. And
No,
on their
that
invitation.
this past
Two
weekend
weddings.
was cousins. These were
Two
cousins.
weddings.
Travis cousins in like Nashville or something. I don't know.
Travis and Taylor did go to a wedding this weekend. It was Travis's cousin in Tennessee. Yes.
Yes.
But Cole Kmet invited the two of them to his wedding, and the wedding planner took a picture of an envelope. I think maybe they did something similar to what Zach and I did and wrote everyone like a letter that attended the wedding. And on the envelope, it said Taylor and Travis Kelce. Instead of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they combined them.
And it's like to act like a wedding invitation address is the book of law is crazy. Because it's like,
but these people are hungry. They're hungry for some tea.
But it's like I've been called like doctor, dumb bitch, at every iteration of Megan misspelling.
On a wedding invite?
Yeah, sure.
Dumb bitch. Dumb bitch and CJ Toledano. Please attend.
Gailey
our nuptials.
Toledano.
No, I'm just Gailey. That's why it's annoying. I don't see. Even Conrad the other day, he was like, "What?" I'm like, "I know. I'm so sorry."
I told Zach that I was going to change my name, and then I just never did.
Who cares?
I never even fought for Cage to have my last name. Like I didn't even cross my mind. I was just like, So I'm like, I
just
feel
was
not a
like,
feminist at all.
I tour. I had a lot of pain, and I was like, yeah, if I'm ripping open, my name's on there. Like, what the fuck did you do?
I feel bad because I'm also the last of my line. Like my name, our family name dies with me.
Yeah, we don't talk to my dad's family anymore, so the Bonetta name it can die. It can be buried 6 feet under.
The Gayleys will live on forever.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we talk a little sports?
Let's talk sports.
Yeah, sure. Now that we're 26 minutes in.
Now that I did just look at the time and I'm like, oh boy, maybe we should transition into
It's the summer. It's the summer.
It's the summer. Okay, speaking of, NFL mini camps are happening right now. If you don't know what NFL mini camps are, it always happens every single spring. It's 3 days. The vets show up. The old guys meet the new guys, essentially, and they run through their drills. It's like shaking off the cobwebs kind of vibe. So big news coming into mini camps is that Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers. Now, what is interesting about this, it was dumped on Friday. And I say dumped because literally the world was burning on Friday. That was like when LA was ablaze. The top storylines were these ICE protests. It was awful. And I feel like anytime a team wants to get rid of stuff that they know is going to be like not do well in media, they dump it on like a day on Friday or a day that's like really busy with other news. So Aaron Rodgers gets dumped on Friday. He signs the deal on Saturday. It has now since been reported that he was the Steelers' third option. They tried for Matthew Stafford. He was too expensive. They tried for Justin Fields, couldn't get him, and then they got Aaron Rodgers instead. So
wasn't Justin Fields already on the team?
Yeah, I thought he was on the team.
I don't know.
And even he was like, I gotta go.
Even he was just like, bye-bye. Did he leave? Because that was what was reported.
He did.
Aaron Schefter said Matthew Stafford, Justin Fields. So maybe they just tried to hang on to Justin Fields, and then they got Aaron Rodgers instead. So we are off to a rocky start. He only signed 1 year. They're dumping the news on Friday. They're not like, hey, here's our new quarterback. We are so excited about him being here. It comes out that he was the third choice, not even the second, behind Matthew Stafford. And he's only signing a 1-year deal. So I want to hear what you guys think. I feel like this is a disaster waiting to happen. I do feel like when this was first kind of getting floated that Aaron Rodgers was going to sign with the Steelers, I was like, oh, perfect, Mike Tomlin. Because he needs somebody that he's not going to be able to like bulldoze over. Mike Tomlin's going to put him in his place. But I feel like this is going to go bad very quickly. What do you guys think?
Well, I think the reason they didn't get Justin Fields is probably because the Jets paid him more. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is only making $10 million, which honestly, in my opinion, is kind of a bargain for Aaron because I think Will Howard, who they drafted, is going to be very good. And I think it's important to have someone for Will Howard to study behind that can elevate his game because I think he's the future for Pittsburgh. I do not think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a fantastic year. I don't think he takes them to the playoffs, especially since, like, I mean, TJ Watt still isn't even at minicamp.
No,
so
he's
like,
not. No, he didn't show up.
All these like forces really have to align. I mean, they got rid of George Pickens, but they do have DK Metcalf, who I think, is like a really fantastic addition. So I do think this team will be good. I just don't think they will be great until next year when Will Howard has had a year to marinate behind a veteran.
But do you think that Aaron Rodgers is the veteran? Like, I feel like this is going to be a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation all over again. He's going to be like, it's not my job.
No, I don't. I feel like Aaron actually did very well with that when it came to Zach in New York. And I think that, like, I always thought that he was like that, but he actually is very helpful. And now he knows this is the end. Like, he knows he's not the future, that he's the last resort. So I think, I think he does enjoy the coaching aspect a little bit more than Brett Favre does, and like the leadership role. I mean, he's not like, hey, come here, let me teach you something. Like, if you want to learn something, you can ask him questions and he will give you those answers. And I think Will Howard is the exact person. He comes in and he studied more film than anyone. So he's going to be star student to Aaron Rodgers. And I think Aaron will really respect that. Yeah.
Okay. On the flip side, this is my dream come true. I hate the Steelers more than any team across any like sport. I despise them. And so for the most hated person to go there and it to be this like long drawn out thing where he was like there for 9 hours at one point and blah 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 blah. And it also like Mike Tomlin is obviously so respected. He's the longest tenured coach like at one place, and he's been there, gosh, I think like 18, 19, 20 years. It's been a really long time. I think his time is coming to an end there. I think there's only so long you can be in one place in this type of climate. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers will listen to him. I think he is just past that. I think like for us to think that this old dog is going to learn a new trick is like, he's going to go in, he's going to do whatever he wants. He's going to be annoying. He's going to be a cancer. He's going to like peace out on stuff. And that's probably why they didn't want him. And I can't wait to watch it absolutely implode.
It's crazy because Steelers fans, you would think, like, on paper, you're getting, like, a 2-time MVP, or maybe even, did he win more than 2? Whatever. Most recently, he won those 2 back-to-back MVPs. He's got this, like, incredibly storied career, and the Steelers fans are like, can we not?
Yeah.
Can we actually not?
Oh, I didn't want the Colts to get him. Like, you don't want him.
No. So he is going to speak to media for the first time today, Tuesday. So unless that happens during our show, we don't know what he's going to say. But that will be interesting to look out for, to see him in yellow. Blech.
I think he still is really good at throwing the ball, and like seeing the field, reading the offense, and reading the defense that's coming at him. And I think in that regard, he is. If he gets protection on the line and has maybe 2 more seconds to throw the ball,
It's
I think they're decent.
And like for my hatred of the Steelers, I can still acknowledge that they're like a very good organization. I think their like ownership is good, they're well run. And for it to be like last year, which turned out to be like kind of a debacle, with Russell
Yeah.
Wilson, where it was like good and then it was like
Oh
terrible.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then of course, and then they had a chance to develop just Justin Fields, who was starting at, and then they just pulled the plug so quick that it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Justin Fields was like, no, I'm out of here. I'd rather go to the Jets. Who would ever want to do that? That it does, these feel like such desperate, chaotic moves that for such a storied franchise, it's like, ooh, something's not going right.
Okay, so
All
it's
right.
doomed. We don't think it's going to work out.
Sarah thinks it could for another person. And
I
I
don't think that
think,
they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying I
yeah.
think he's going to be good.
It's just too like plot of a football movie. If they are good, like it's just I
No,
just
they're not
don't.
going to be good.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it's feasible. The chips are stacked against them. If it was like a clean transition and the Steelers were like, happy to have you. We signed you for 3 years because we really believe in you. It's like a 1-year deal for probably the least amount of money he's ever made.
Which is actually
Dropping it on a
probably,
Friday.
which is maybe even better because the stakes are low. The Jets, it was like, this is going to turn the team around. And then it was like, disaster, disaster, hurt, hurt, hurt.
Oh my God, I still have the image of him running out of the tunnel with the flag, like,
And then
seared
getting
into
hurt.
my retinas,
Yeah.
and then immediately. Ugh.
But here's the thing. If you pay Justin Fields $40 million for 2 years and he is not good, everyone's mad. If you pay Aaron Rodgers $10 million for
No
1
one's
year
mad.
and he's not good, everyone's just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
it was a gamble. It is what it is.
But I do think Steelers fans and the Steelers organization holds themselves to a higher standard. So it's like to then have just sort of these wasted seasons. They don't like that. That is
Yeah.
not
Well,
the terrible towel, people.
here's the thing, though. I think Mike Tomlin is not the guy to take them there. And I think optically, like firing a guy that's been there for 20 years who's black is not great.
No, it's a parting of,
and
it's a,
but
oh, I want to go do other stuff.
yeah,
He
yeah,
needs-
yeah. It
Like,
has
for
to- it
his
has to-
sake, we've always been in this camp. For his sake, he should leave. He should go and be with a fresh
Yes.
team and a different. I just don't know. It's not. You've been there forever, and it's
20
not
years
working.
is so long. So
Yeah.
long.
It's
Go
a long time to like
go to the
not-
south of France. Go chill.
I would love to go to the
Yeah,
south of
yeah,
France
yeah.
with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, can we also just quickly talk about how Anthony Richardson is sidelined now?
Yeah, so Anthony Richardson is hurt. Michael Pittman is hurt. Anthony Richardson, this is obviously like a do or die year. This is it. I am driver of the Anthony Richardson bandwagon. It's really me and my son that I forced to wear his clothing. I am, I'm on the ground here. I am hearing that I just hear such nice things about him, that like he is doing the right stuff, that he is he was at the Pacers game, and like, so Zaire Franklin.
does he also live in your parents' neighborhood?
No, I don't know where he lives. I feel like he like travels around to different fans' houses to sleep on the couch. Like he seems nomadic to me.
I do feel like within the next 6 months, Megan is going to figure out where he lives.
Oh, I'm going to meet him. I love him. I told you the female assistant coach, Jenny Busek, lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jenny. Okay, so we don't know where Anthony is, but he was at the Colts game. And so like Reggie Wayne is courtside, Zaire Franklin is courtside. That's like a defensive Pro Bowler for us. And then they show Anthony Richardson, and he's in like the last row of the lowest section. And I'm like, he just bought a ticket. He had on like the free shirt and was just like, happy dancing. Like, that is why he is so easy to like root for. I hear he's doing all the right things. I don't think Daniel Jones is, clipping at his heels in a way that feels scary to him.
You guys got Daniel.
I mean, talk about embarrassing. CJ was like, I'm going to get you a Daniel Jones jersey. And I was like, I will murder you. So you'd rather them be hurt in June than August. So it's like,
Yeah.
this gives him time to study. His physical stuff is there. Eddie, I know Daniel Jones is making like 20 million a year from the Colts, and it's tough. It's tough.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sorry, Eddie sent us that message.
Yeah. While we're in the Colts kingdom,
Yes.
it was reported that Jim Irsay is leaving the Colts franchise to his three daughters, Kaylin, Casey, and Carly.
Classic Indiana
Those
names.
are
Cute.
very Indiana names.
So
Kaylin,
funny.
Casey, and Carly. I learned yesterday
Carly.
that, did you guys know that Steve Jobs' daughter is just Eve Jobs? I've been laughing about that for the last 24 hours.
Oh my God. Take off the saint. And then you have
What do you think about this,
Wow.
Meg?
It's always been
Their
the plan.
names- Their names don't start with K, right?
They're KC. Yeah, it's not three Ks. It's a K, a C, and a K. It's a K,
No,
a C, and a K.
It's a K, a C, and a C. What are we doing?
Oh, okay. Okay,
Make
C and a
it,
C.
Make it all C's.
Well, you don't-
What?
Well, you can't make it all Ks.
Can't make it all K's.
That would be, and I could
Sure.
see someone in Indiana doing that on purpose and mistake, being like, "Whoa." This has always been the plan. They have sort of varying levels of involvement, or like things they specialize with the team, and so everyone seems like it's going to be very positive to have three women running a team. I think one of them is like the point person and will really be like the CEO. But it will be interesting because our GM is not great. And a lot of people wanted him fired. And so if things don't pan out this year, I could see them, having to make some tough decisions just in their first year.
I kind of love that. This is like a movie waiting to be written. I also love that one of the women wears a choker, like wears like one of those old school chokers that says Colts across her neck.
I mean,
Bedazzled.
I gotta get one. My neck is the size of a Colts player right now. I am a defensive end, neck's girth.
Well, congratulations to the K and the
guys-
C and the C.
Oh, and you guys also drafted Riley Leonard.
Oh yeah.
The
We're
quarterback of
cooking.
Notre Dame.
Oh, we're
this is
cooking.
Stud, too.
This is the Indiana episode. We are talking a lot about Indiana. Should we talk a
The
little basketball?
epicenter in 49
my-
states. It's just basketball, but here it's a net in my uterus. Pacers, OKC tied 1-1. An absolute stunner to game one again.
Crazy.
It felt like deja vu. It really was just like, and the thing is, all you need to, like, people are like, oh, and then they got, kind of their ass handed to them in game two. It's like, all you need to do is split. Like it really gave me hope. So many people were saying they were going to be swept, that they had no chance. You cannot count this team out. Very exciting. I think Tyrese Halliburton has just like cemented himself as having one of the craziest playoff runs of any sport. My brother is flying in tomorrow, and him and I. Yeah, he's flying in from DC, leaving his family. And him and I are going to game 3 tomorrow.
Just the two of you guys? You're not smuggling a child in this time?
No, Conrad is not going. This one starts at 8:30. Conrad's going to be upset. He does not know yet that he's not going. My parents aren't going. CJ's out of town. So it'll just be my brother. My brother's going down at 4 p.m. I go, I won't be doing that. I'm going to meet you like
He
right
wants to go to
at
the fan zone.
Oh, he going to the fan zone. He's going here. He's going there. He's going. And I was like,
I was reading this article on The Ringer by Tyler Parker this morning. Tyler seems to be a very big Thunder fan. And the title of this article is The Indiana Pacers Are a Horror Movie. And he goes on to talk about how just the history, even just this past season, of them making these epic comebacks. He just talks about no lead is safe. And I feel like that is your guys' secret weapon. And I feel like you could win this thing. Even though the Thunder are an incredible team, it's the mind fuck of you guys coming back against the Knicks, coming back against the against the Cavs.
They've done it in every single...
Literally every series.
Yes.
So...
I know. Tyler Parker is a friend from Chicago and a lovely man. And that's what I think makes this series like slightly less fun. Not because of the small market. It's like, I really like the Thunder. When I see Alex Caruso happy, I go, that makes me happy. I love the Headless Horsemen. So Ichabod Crane, Chet Holmgren is cutie. Their defense is so annoying. Like it is so relentless. It does feel like they have seven guys out there and they're just like, it feels like you're running through like a battering ram of like those clappers just hitting the ball out of you. And so it is two like very fast-paced teams. Sometimes I'm watching the games and I'm like, y'all need to slow down. Like you guys are gonna go into cardiac arrest because it's just like so fast. I said I didn't need to go to a finals game, but I did. And so yeah, I'm going.
I'm so happy
You're
for
going,
you.
and I'm
That's
so
gonna be
glad you're going.
awesome.
I love Gilgeous Alexander on Oklahoma. Sorry, but I'm just like also obsessed by the fact that he doesn't ever sweat. And I like brought it up to Chris the other. I'm like, every time he shoots a free throw, I mean, it's the fourth quarter. They've been running all game, and he's just like not sweating. And
He's
Chris is like,
beautiful.
he's Canadian. I go, I don't
Oh,
Canadian. That doesn't.
we
What does
we
that have
sweat.
to do? Yeah, I
Oh,
was like,
we
I don't think
sweat.
that is a thing. I don't think Canadian black men just don't sweat.
No, he's
Like, I
really
remember
pretty too. His
I
beautiful
sent
bone
I sent
structure.
you guys my shirt after hockey last week. It was
Yeah.
disgusting. We sweat for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. Like I was just like, but I do feel like I don't know if it definitely feels like more of like a black male thing where it's just like dry, where it's just like
Maybe he
there's
gets
zero.
Botox in his armpits because that's something that people do to stop sweating. Is Botox.
And it's like, I
Wow.
think we should be sweating. Not if he doesn't naturally sweat, that's totally fine. But like, I think your armpits do need to sweat. Like, I don't think
Oh,
we should be blocking that
I'm
out.
sure he is. It just doesn't look like he is. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like I wish I could look like what I mean. Like it's like where
yeah.
you see Caruso and it's just like red cheeks.
Red.
Like yeah, you just like
Yes.
you look like you're melting. I'm like this
Ugh,
guy's out there.
I get so
Anyway, well,
red. Sweatiest
Yeah, the
face.
Joker. The Joker looks like
Oh my
he's
God.
gonna
Like
pass
I get like
out.
red arms, blotchy arms just from
Yeah.
like walking across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's
All right.
happening in the nap.
well, good luck. Can you do like a little maybe take over the sports bitches Instagram story or is
Okay.
that too much?
I'll
Is that
do
too
some,
much?
yes. We do get shirts and we're sitting in the section right next to the section we sat in last time.
Is that
And I'm,
tonight?
no, it's tomorrow. No,
Okay, okay, okay.
I have to lay in bed all day. I had to
To
convince,
prepare.
I had to convince my brother that I could go. Because he's afraid I'm going to go into labor.
You got a
And,
carbo
and,
load.
and so I'm going to be laying all day tomorrow. Like, I'm not going to get out of bed until it's time to put on my custom Pacers Gately jersey.
You gotta lay in bed. You gotta get caught up on Love Island. Sarah, are you watching this show?
No.
The first episode did
No.
nothing for me.
Okay, but you gotta keep watching. The first episode's always boring.
I know.
Chat, Pancake Boy, let us know if you guys want like a separate section every single week. I am happy to talk about Love Island.
I know.
Happy to talk about Love
I
Island.
know once this baby comes and I'm not sleeping and I'm breastfeeding like a robot, like a Waymo robot, I will be watching it. But I was like trying to watch it the other night and I was like, I just don't care about these people. They're dumb.
Yeah, they
But I'll
are
get
dumb.
into it.
Let's talk a little Simone Biles. Sarah, can you tell
Oh
us
yeah.
what the tea is?
All right. So Riley Gaines, I don't know.
Games.
Fifth place. She's the woman who tied for fifth place with Leah Thomas, the swimmer who transitioned from male to female. And ever since she tied for fifth place in that race, she goes on Fox News and she constantly talks about how men should not be able to compete against women. And listen, that is a very there are many layers to that to this thing, and no one's saying that men should be boxing women. No one is saying that. Usually, most people think that like if you've gone through puberty, you have to participate as that gender. Regardless, Riley Gaines is always out there grifting, and there was this high school baseball team in the Midwest, somewhere, and they won. And there was a player on the team that was not trans, by the way. They just had both sex organs, I believe,
Which
or they were like,
happens.
Happens,
no,
yes. Yeah.
happens. And she's, of course, tweeting about like how you should not, this is why they won, you know, blah, 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 blah.
What a grifter.
And such a grifter, always leaning into the grift and the engagement. And this is how she makes money.
Yeah, loser behavior.
So Simone Biles, the GOAT, tweets, bully someone your own size, which would ironically be male, Riley Gaines. Boom, roast it, right? Like, as a roaster, I'm like, let's go, right? And then, of course, Riley Gaines, who's in the past tweeted nothing but compliments about Simone Biles, now is like, obviously hurt. That she's being called out by someone who's not just like a Twitter troll or like some sort of like normal Democrat.
The greatest athlete of our generation, the most decorated athlete of our generation.
Yes.
Who has, for the record, been called masculine, too muscular, because that is what it is. It is not just this happened to the boxer who was biologically female at the Olympics, and then they go, well, she can't. Well, that's a man. No, it's not. That's a biological woman. So they start here. It's very similar to what they're doing with the immigration. They start here and they say, well, we don't want undocumented. That's not even the word they use, but I'm not going to use it. We don't want them. And then it goes to, oh, no, but actually, we don't want civilians or citizens that speak a different language than us or that don't agree with us. And then it goes to, we don't want brown
American
people.
Citizens.
Yes. Exactly. And so it's like so Simone Biles is willing to fight this because she has experienced it and she knows this is your dog whistle to start, you fucking bitch. And then you're going to come over here and say, I have a physical advantage because I'm a black woman and we have an extra muscle or whatever weird shit you tell yourself because you're not as good as an athlete as me.
Yes, correct. Grift.
Yeah, so then Riley Gaines throws Simone's abuser, Larry Nassar, in her face, and it's like, so this is not. Oh yeah, she's been posting
what did she
about
say?
like.
What did they?
She said all the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings. You know how many gold medals you would have won if your inclusive dream came true? 0. By the way, first of all, that means you're not about protecting women. If you're throwing their abuser in front of them in an argument, then it's not about protecting women. It's about the grift. That's period. Second, every male gymnast has come out and said, if Simone Biles competed against me, I have 0 chance. Like,
she would
they
win.
have literally changed the scoring system because all of her jumps would get her a 12 and you can only get a 10. So like they've named vaults after her and men cannot even do these vaults.
No.
So listen, like obviously women don't compete in parallel bars, you know, the men don't compete.
Yeah, they have different events. Pommel horse. They have different events.
Yes, they have pommel horse and parallel bars. Women have balance beam and uneven bars. But when it comes to floor exercise and vault, these are the ones where they would be similar. And her level of points is like so much higher than the men. And like every male gymnast has been like, we have no chance. So don't drag us into it, you know, basically. But the whole point is that, like, if it really is about protecting young girls, as Riley Gaines says, then you don't throw someone's sexual abuser at them to make a point. So, because then you are not protecting women.
How insane anyway,
that's where that started.
You can't. She looks like a rat. I hate this person.
To evoke Larry Nassar in any way but vile human rot in jail is just like and that's I mean, you're exactly right. It's just like they say it's for this when it's like, no, that's not. You know the most afraid I've ever been in a public restroom was when I found a man looking at me through the ceiling.
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Taking a poop.
Sadly,
and then they've
sadly, at my favorite restaurant that I still go to all the time. Because it's like, you can't, what am I going to do? I can't not go there.
And then they've They also said, like, what if Larry Nasser changed his gender? Would you be okay with him being in a female prison? I'm like, he doesn't stand any chance in either. He should be beaten
What are
up.
you?
Like, you think women like none of this is even, that's what they do.
Why are we
they just
even
like throw
talking
things
about
out
Larry
there with
Nassar?
like
It's so
That's
I
reason.
also so
know.
yeah, she's 25 years old. Like she was, when did that happen? Like more than 10 years ago? I
Yes,
think
And
the
it
thing
was
but
that
her
really
she actually
respect.
probably
spoke out about it. She spoke out about him, and that helped put him in prison. Like all these famous
Simone
gymnasts
Biles
coming out.
or
Yes.
this
Yes,
gal. No, I'm saying this girl is so
Riley
young
Gaines.
and so immature that she wasn't even like her brain cells weren't even fucking formed when this stuff happened. Also, she probably the most painful thing to anti-grift this girl is that Simone spoke out. Because she's
Yeah,
so young, she would have grown up watching Simone every single step of her career.
yeah, but Simone is only 26, isn't she? Like, she's
Huh?
not. How old is Simone?
Yeah, she's young.
Wow. That's
I
actually
mean, a
kudos
gym,
to
and
her because I
that's
thought she was like in her 30s with all that she's accomplished.
no, because a gymnast,
Oh, she's 28.
your shelf life is, you can't be doing
Yeah,
gymnastics
most
that
of it.
long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, most
Well,
girls quit
Riley
sports at
Gaines,
14.
you're a loser. There's just so much loser
She's the
behavior.
anti sports bitch, Riley Gaines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever the opposite. We need a name for the opposite of sports bitch.
sports cunt.
Sports
Sports
bitch.
cunt. That's what I was gonna say.
Stop.
Sports. See you next Tuesday because we do come out on Tuesdays.
That's so perfect.
Just
Oh
such
my
a
God.
loser. What a waste of
Yeah. All right.
what a waste of that being your cause.
But let's
Also,
talk
Riley
about
Gaines said that Simone incinerated her legacy. LOL. No,
Good.
impossible.
that they're like she's gonna lose all her fans. It's like, bitch, no.
Girl.
Like she just made a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here. No
Um,
way. Who hates oh
speaking
wow.
of
Wow.
bad female behavior. This one not nearly as bad. But the French Open concluded in Paris over the weekend, and it was both finals matches were have made massive headlines. This is when the tennis season like really really starts to kick off. I get so excited. Coco Gauff became the first American woman to win the French Open in 10 years since Serena Williams. And there's all these really wonderful things coming out about her, like writing that she dreamed that she was going to win it. She won the juniors title. Like Coco Gauff is just such an
Was
easy,
she the
lovely.
youngest? Is she
No,
also the youngest? Oh.
no, these girls they'll win a grand slam at like 17. But she's just such an easy person to root for. She beat the number one player in the world right now, Arna Sabayenka, who I've heard is not nice. And Sabayenka has come under a bunch of fire because in her post-match interview, she basically said, I think it was more windy. Also, I think I was over emotional. Today, I didn't handle myself quite well mentally. Basically, that's it. I was just making unforced errors. I don't know. I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes, which is like sports presser 101 you don't do. Like you have to start every single like question would be like, I don't want to take anything away from them. They played really well. I'm not
Yeah.
satisfied with how I played. Like it's like very easy to do. She came under so much fire, especially because Coco Gauff is like beloved. And I do think
Yeah.
Sabalenka does not have a great reputation and has now walked it back and is like, I shouldn't have said that. And even like through all this, Coco Gauff has been like has handled it with grace. Sabalenka said if the girl that she had beat had played Coco Gauff, she would have beat Coco Gauff. Like it's just like you're weird. Why are you doing this?
What
You're
are
the
you
number one player in
gaining?
the world.
What are you gaining by saying this outside of everyone's going to think you're a fucking loser?
Yes.
Like,
Well,
in
can
what
I
part of your mind do you
listen?
think that this is going to come across as good?
First of all, Sabalenka is very competitive. She's very tough on herself. She's had a tough year. Her boyfriend committed suicide last year. She's had
Oh,
a lot going on. She's had a really tough year. So between the 6 inches, between the ears is the hardest. And so she's mentally been up and down. I think also when you are the number one player in the world, you're extremely tough on yourself.
She was favored to win heavily.
And at that moment, you are upset emotionally, and I don't think you say things the way you intend them to come out. I think you're like heated and angry, and then we all say things and shit that we don't mean when we're upset, and I think that's why she issued a statement walking it back, and obviously Coco, has been extremely graceful and like in this whole process, and she deserved to win that. The whole world was rooting for her, outside of just like the Sabalenka stands. So I think,
outside of Belarus.
yeah. I mean, there's a reason Sabalenka's number one. It's because she's incredibly gifted, and she had a chance to like get rid of her coach during all of that, and she stayed with this young guy that's just been coaching her up. I think
that's tough.
I think that she has a lot. I think she has she has to harness a lot of that anger, because clearly during the first match, she was yelling at herself, and then it only got worse. And Federer used to be like that, right? Constantly angry. And then like when he really harnessed that, that's when he became the GOAT, right? And, I mean, Alcaraz was like that a little bit, so it's like he's learned to harness that a little bit. So I think, Sabalenka is young, just like Coco. Like they're all these young players who are just figuring out the mental aspect of this game, because it is not a team sport, it is an individual sport, and there's no one else to blame but yourself when you don't win.
In the presser, it did very much seem like she was in the presser, it very much seemed like she had not processed yet, and there was a couple of times where she was just like, there are things that I want to say but I can't say because I'm on television. Like, it very much seemed like she was sort of put in this very vulnerable position to be speaking in front of cameras, where she was still feeling all of these emotions.
Well, which has led to, immediately comes to mind Naomi Osaka taking a step back from tennis, where it's like you're just asked to then have to like justify everything you did. And tennis is really hard too, because the crowd, it's not like, the Pacers are coming home, they're going to play in such a friendly place. When they're on the road in OKC, it's hostile. In tennis, fans switch constantly. So it's like if you win the first set, now they're rooting against you because they want to see a longer match. And it really fucks with people's brains, because it's like, wait, how did all these French people turn on me?
Tennis fans are so intense. One stabbed a woman in the back. Do you guys remember that?
Monica Seles. He was a stalker. He was not just like a casual fan. I've never. No, but I mean, we are intense. The meanest things that anyone has ever said to me in my life was Novak Djokovic fans on Twitter said they wanted my child taken away from me. Kookaboos. Speaking of, he lost in the semis. I think Joker, it's done. I don't know that he has I don't know that he has another Grand Slam run in him, and that fills me with joy, because I love Carlos Alcaraz. Yannick Sinner, also great. Like, what's happening in the men's game is very exciting. The only unfortunate part of it is that no American men are even a part of it, even close. We really need Francis Tiafoe to step up. He's really getting stuck. He's really getting stuck in the sort of the quarters at these, and it's like he's so fun. He's so exciting. He's such a crowd favorite. And so I do think Wimbledon and the US Open are going to be so exciting. I mean, this 5-set, it was 5.5 hours. What's really cool is when I'm like driving around my parents' neighborhood, 5.5. When I'm driving around my parents' neighborhood, I see all of these boys who I know are basketball boys out playing tennis now. Like the neighbor boys next door, I saw them playing tennis on Sunday. And I go, is this because they watched the French Open? And it was like, yeah, they watched the French Open. It's so cool. And like, that's what tennis does to you. Conrad's been playing tennis, and he's trying to hit it. And he goes, Mom, tennis is hard. And it's like, tennis is hard. Tennis is hard.
My wrists are too flimsy. I can't even hold a pan.
DJ keeps going, hit it like a baseball. And I'm like, no, don't listen to Dad. Dad has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Listen to Mama. Lock in. Block him out. So it's tennis season.
Do you think the French is the hardest because of the clay, or do you think? the U.S. Open is the hardest because it's like
no, well, Wimbledon's the biggest. And Wimbledon is grass.
Disagree.
Grass is hard. I mean, I grew up playing on red clay. It's just a different skill. And so the reason the Spanish have been so good at it is because they built national courts that were red clay. So Nadal, Alcaraz, that's what they grew up playing on. So you're just sort of like more attuned to what you grew up on, and that's why the Americans tend to do better at the US Open. It's hard courts. We have more hard courts. I think Wimbledon is hard. I think a lot of people get in their head there. I think it's like the Masters. It's like so hallowed, but the conditions can be tricky. I mean, you see the grass from day 1 to day 12 is so different, and you're having to like adjust and slide. That tennis is just, it's really fun, and it is a really hard sport that is just so mentally grueling because you are by yourself.
Unless you're playing doubles.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing doubles, and then you can fight with those people.
Okay, we are going to wrap up. I have a very quick question to ask you guys. Going to be rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
So I read this article this weekend. Washington Post says there is a new method to clearing clutter. You have to ask yourself, if something was covered in poop, would you keep it? I have got some items that I want to present to you guys.
Like my phone?
Yeah, exactly.
First things first, Sarah's phone in the Comedy Store toilet. Okay, so if this was covered in poop, would you keep it? Megan, CJ's championship rec league basketball trophy. If it was covered in poop, would you keep it?
Out of here. Get it out of here.
But would CJ keep it?
CJ would keep it before he would keep his wedding ring.
No, this is, you guys are clearing the clutter. You guys are clearing the clutter.
Goodbye. Sorry, San for friendos. Okay,
Sarah Tiana. A handwritten letter saying they're a big fan, signed from Karen Reed.
I'm keeping that. Keeping that. If it's even addressed to Sarah, I'm cleaning poop off of it for Sarah.
Okay. This is a two-parter. This will be the last one because we're running out of time. Okay. Cage becomes a massive Astros fan, specifically the 2017 team. He has saved up any dimes that he finds in the couch cushions. He has somehow saved up enough money to buy himself a Jose Altuve jersey. Okay. And then on the flip side, Conrad has done the same thing with a Daniel Jones Colts jersey. It's covered in poop. But, your kids love this jersey so much. They love these players so much. Are you keeping the jerseys?
I am telling Conrad that Daniel Jones is not on the Colts anymore, and I'm throwing it out. If anything, I'm wiping the new baby's butt with it. I'm the one putting the poop on it.
Sarah?
I ride with the Astros from 2017. I don't think they did anything wrong. So I'm fine with it. We're keeping it.
Wow. Okay. I'm shocked.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean,
I am shocked.
That is 1,000 times crazier. The clip needs to be, is it crazier that Sarah thinks the 2017 Astros are right, or that Megan thinks Waymos should be burned to the ground? And I want people to weigh in.
Where do you stand? Do you stand with Sarah, or do you stand with Megan on the hot takes of this episode? All right, guys, that is our time. We love you. Thank you for listening. It was a basketball net. Don't forget for next week.
It's sports.